You ready, Dave?
I'm always ready.
All right, cool. All right, well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Waffle Cafe podcast, your regular plate of healthy, topical fun, debate, and banter from myself, Ben, and your alcoholic friend there, Dave.
I'm celebrating. It's the end of the season, done 10 episodes. It's been a long slog. This one's
that sounds like it's been, when you say long slog, it sounds like it's been torture.
It's not torture. The easy bit is this bit, but obviously this one being live, we haven't got to worry about any editing or anything like that. It's the bits I think people don't see is the bits after you record, and you got to give it for like full-time, I think, content creators, because there's a lot of work that happens after hours. But this, easy.
That sounds like teacher talk. That sounds like teacher talk when you went, no one sees the work behind closed doors. You know, the kids go home and then that's it. People think we put our feet up, but no, we've got marking, assessing, meetings. That's teacher talk, Dave.
Well, I've never been a teacher, so I wouldn't know, but that's how it feels. It's how it feels doing the pod every week. Even though we share as much of it as possible as we can,
I will be honest. I mean, you've done more because you're just better at the tech, to be fair. So, but yeah. So no. And to be fair, you deserve a beer. You deserve a beer, mate. So
it's a celebration. It's a celebration today.
How are you been, mate? You good?
Very well. Very
well. Are you
well.
melting?
Yes. It has been obviously a sweatbox, as everybody knows.
My sister said that because my sister does photography, and she says, I feel you the editing side. It's a killer. It is well. I mean, when we waffle on, it does take a while. It takes a good, I don't know about you, 3-4 hours to edit a pod.
Yeah. I mean, see that then that would have been edited out, but today we got to go with the ums and everything.
Well, there we go, then, mate. Cool. Let's just crack on for it, and then I've created a little list of recommendations from other people who've given me so far. One from my wife who's in the next room, and she's not actually online, even though she says she would be. So she's actually not lived up to her word anyway. So yeah. So if you, I'm assuming the 3 people who are listening, although one is me actually on the live chat. We share some top content of the week, and the first topic we normally do is good vibes of the week, but we'll keep it nice and short so we can get you guys to recommend anything you guys want to do. Or if you've got a good vibe of the week, do just write it in the chat, and me or Dave will read it out. You got a good vibe this week, Dave?
I have indeed, which you actually know about, which is obviously we don't normally tell each other about our topics, but this one is that if you've been listening to all the other podcasts, I've been struggling with wanting to do more and be more positive in terms of being able to give time, money, whatever, to charities and good causes. So in the week, what we now have is we have our own clothing brand.
Oh, so, yeah. So,
whoa, yeah. This is serious business, and you're laughing. So
it just I knew it was coming because like weeks ago I was like, so when are you going to plug the t-shirt? So like it was just coming. By the way, my wife has just said, "Are you going to start soon?" Like, you're in the next room. Shut up! I'm joking. No. Yeah, we're starting. Like, you know, don't interrupt Dave. Sorry, go on, mate.
So yeah, we have t-shirts and hoodies, and people are thinking, well, if they're saying t-shirts and hoodies, that's all great. You can look really, you can look smart, fly, whatever you want to call it in them. But how does that help charities? Well, every single penny profit will go into this kind of fun thing that we've been talking about, and every single penny we earn, it won't go in either of our pockets. It will go straight back in to a charity, a good cause, to help something along the way. Obviously, depending on how much money we raise, which will depend on people wanting to wear the clothing and stuff, but depends on how many people we can help and what causes that they will go to. So I know obviously we've both done a few little bits in the other pods up until now. So this will obviously help to do more. So yeah, my short good vibe of the week is the clothing brand, which I will say the the link quickly now, but afterwards we'll post it everywhere, put it in the description and whatnot. But if you want to have a quick look, it's the dash waffle dash cafe .tmill.com.
Nice. It's like you said, you've always wanted to do something to kind of give back, didn't you? Like Mr. Beast style.
Yes.
So this would be a really good. So the site's live. Is it up? Is up live? Yeah.
People can go there right now and purchase if they wanted to, which
Nice.
would be amazing. Oh, and they're also eco-friendly. So the T-Mill, the manufacturer that we use, it's a circular system to create them. So if you were to rip your T-shirt or the hoodie that you buy from us, and you want to send, you can send it back. There's a little barcode, a little QR code in the label. You scan that, and you can return it, and then you get £5 off your next order, and whatever you sent back will be recycled into making new clothing again. So also good for the environment.
That's wicked.
I thought so.
I like that. And to top of that, you've done the Treedom as well in the pod. Like, Dave, you're a changed man. You used to bully me back at school, man. Like you're quite a nice guy these days, isn't you?
I think it's. Do you know what it is? I think as you get older, your priorities change. You have a different outlook on life. When you're young, not all youngsters, like 18-year-olds and stuff like that, but when you are young, I think you are selfish, and to a degree, I think that's okay. But as you get older, priority changes. You have family, kids, and stuff, and you do. I think generally you do think about other people slightly more.
No, I totally agree. Because you do realise that the world's bigger than you when you're 18 and you're going through just find yourself and just living life. Really, to be fair, you don't really have too much care, do you? To be fair, and then you do realise your impact of what you do, and you're a bit older, like you said, when you start having a family or you used to start understand the world a bit more. You kind of do want to give back a little bit more, didn't you? Really, so quality, man. And like I said, couple that with the Treedom, you've got a good heart, mate. You a good heart.
You're going to make me tear up here.
Well, before I give my good vibe of the week, I've got to give out a shout out to probably our only foreign listener is Norma's sister's husband. So does that make it
your brother-in-law?
Does that make it? Yeah. Does that make brother-in-law? Joe, he's in New York. He listens to this pod. Because we looked at the stats and we see who was like listening where. We had to listen in America, and I checked him. It was Joe in New York, so he listened to it in his truck. So big shout out to Joe. But he's a Liverpool fan, and they play Fulham in their first game. So I'll probably block him for a few weeks, and just depending on the result. But no, good shout out to him. But my good vibe of the week is you, mate.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh dear. They're going to give me a big head.
Oh no! Well, yeah, you're going to be 2 again. No, I just thought no, it's good because it's been, as I said, it's been a whole season. We didn't know where it was going. You put a lot of effort into this. Like you committed to it. I'm not saying you committed to other things. Like I'm just saying too. But do you know what I mean? Like like we're both committed to this. We've run it like really well. We've all learned quite a lot to it. I mean, if you've ever, my wife said that there's a delay. Well, come join me in the room. I mean, like if there's a delay, come listen to us. But no, I hats off to you, man. Like, because I think we both learned that, if we want to kind of do stuff, no one else is going to do it for you. And you kind of really have put stuff into it. So hat off, mate.
Well, to you, mate. It works both ways because we wouldn't been able to do it without you. So yeah, because no one would have wanted to listen to me for 2 hours on end. And you need someone to bounce things off as well. So
yeah, well, if it weren't me, it'd be Panda, wouldn't it? So my wife said, I can hear you talking about something different to what's been streaming. Yeah, well, I've sent her a different link because I want to share what I really think of. But yeah. But again, why don't you join us in here? Oh, damn it. Right. So that's our good vibes. We usually go on to gripe of the week. But as it's the last show, we don't really want to be a moaning, although I've had a few moans this week, but we'll save it. So we're going to go into Tunage of the Week. This is where we recommend some songs, tracks, albums from any era, any genre, anything goes, and then we add it onto our Spotify playlist, which we'll share the link out to. And any recommendations we get from anyone who's watching, listening, or anything we've got in the week. We'll add them no matter what. We're not the judge. Well, actually, we'll just. Actually, no, I do judge yours, don't I? But
You
we'll
do
still
big
add it.
time.
So, shall we start with some audience recommendations and then go with ours?
Yep, I've got one to kick it off, and seeing how Amit's online.
Yeah,
So
cool.
tunage of the week from Amit is Missing Everything About the Girl.
That's old school.
Yeah.
Very old school.
He is a DJ Spirit, so he has always got a tune that you can pull out the bag from somewhere, and obviously he does it.
There's a Mr. Rain, and I miss you. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's the one. But yeah, because he does it professionally and does it for like different events and stuff. He has to have the vast music from all over different genres and stuff. So he always manages to pull one out. And obviously the podcast from a couple ago, he reminded me about Moby Go. So yeah.
Moby Dick. I tell you the only thing about that track, and maybe he might be able to help me out with this. I only ever hear that track in that radio edit. I've never ever heard a different remix of it or a good remix of that track. So I don't know if he has it in his locker, if he knows any good sort of like mix up tracks on it, anything like that. But that's old school 90s dance. Yeah. I wonder if I guessed the year. He hasn't shared the year, has he?
No, he didn't share the year with me. I'd
say 94, 95. I don't know, we'll do a bit of research on that. No, good one. I like that. We'll add that one. Any others?
That's no. Amit's the only one that's let me know his recommendations from our vast viewing audience.
If Joe, Jade, if you're still online, add any songs or tracks and stuff that you'd like us to share, and we'll shout them out. I do have one from Jamie, my mate Jamie, and Amit might like this. It's from Orbital. I can say it right. Halison, and On. That's the name of the track by Orbital. I listened to it earlier. It's very deep electro house, like really, really early, deep 90s. It might be actually up Amit Street. It's not really my cup of tea. That kind of, it's really electro, but if it's really soft electro, it won't be my choice. But I'll add it anyway. I don't judge. I do, but anyway. My sister says I had a huge collection of Clubland classics. More Ministry of Sound, Jade. I was Ministry of Sound when we were growing up. Clubland classics are all really, really with Norma's thing. Oh, Joe's got DJ Marky Barcelona. Yes. Yes. Oh, Amit says I've got 94 spot on. Yes, I know my music. I'm a fan. Quality. Yeah, man. Yeah, I like that. Definitely putting that in. DJ Marky Barcelona. That's a great track. Barcelona. Either that or you remember the DJ Marky Barcelona track?
That is, yeah. You've got this, the one that goes. Did they use that? They used that for an Olympics, didn't they? When it was in Barcelona.
No, that was Freddie Mercury and
my music noise is terrible.
That's Freddie Mercury and what was it? Because you're like Barcelona. No, you're thinking of like proper operatic. DJ Marky drum and bass.
I'm gonna have to listen to it afterwards.
See, look, even Amit's like backing Joe up. Great track, and you seriously would know it.
I'm gonna have to hang my head in shame.
DJ Marky did I Like It. We like it. I like it. You like it. It is the way. Come on, man. It's a summer day. Come on.
Okay. I know the one. No,
you don't. You just say that to move it on. I do have another track, and I'm not a fan of this. Dragostea by Ozone, recommended by my wife. You know this track that goes Maya he, Maya ha.
Oh yeah, that can be a bit annoying, Norma. To be fair, Norma, that can be a bit annoying.
And the rules are we have to add it on. So like,
we'll add it. If Norma likes it, there'll be other people that like it.
I wonder if I could find a really good remix of that. Maybe Silence. Maybe like a track of Silence. Maybe I might make the remix and just have a 3 minutes of silence, and that's the remix. Because it's not really my fan. But have you got tunage of the week, Dave?
I do. And this was pulled out of the bag on the weekend because I was driving along and it hit the radio and I was like, wow, again, another one I've forgotten. And I don't think you can do me for this one. But I've actually then added another one from the same artist because you have to do that. It's the 10th episode. I'm literally throwing the rule book out the window.
Are you recommending 2 tracks?
From the same, so it's like when you recommend an album and you recommend like 2 or 3 songs.
Okay.
So I thought, I can skate through on that one. Florence and the Machine.
Right.
You've Got the Love.
Okay.
Florence and the Machine, Spectrum, Say My Name, the Calvin Harris remix.
You have my blessing on both of those.
I thought I would. I haven't gone gangster, haven't gone hip hop, anything like that. Florence and the Machine, complete. How can you forget about Florence and the Machine? And when it came on, I was like, that's it. I know what I've got for the live stream.
I do like the Spectrum one. I'm a bit hit and miss on Calvin Harris because it does seem a lot of his stuff is very samey. But that Spectrum's Spectrum's quite good. And then You Got the Love is a great remake because she, who did the original? Maybe Amek help me out. Who Got the Love? Was it Candy Station? You Got the Love. Who did the remake? Who did the original? You Got the Love. I'm not going to ask you, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a clue.
I think it could be Candy Station, possibly. But yeah, I like that, man. Yeah, both good. Yeah, both good. And someone we know actually had one of those tracks for their wedding song.
Don't put that to me to the test now.
I don't think he's online either.
I've got a poor memory though for that type of stuff. Brookside.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, it's quite a pumping track for your wedding song. It's quite interesting. It's good. It was good. I've got a track you might not have heard of, but if you've into Soccer AM, you would. Do you remember? Soccer AM used to do the like the Techers clips.
Is that when Max and I used to watch you back in the day when Max and Helen?
Boston, like it was Tim Lovejoy and Helen Chamberlain, like really back in the day.
Maybe not then.
Oh, okay, because they used to use this track called Mark B, Move Now, and it was used for "And You Know Your Tunes." I know my tunes, man. Yeah, Jay said Candy Station. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Amit, seriously, if you want a researcher, if you want anyone to help you out with any tracks, and just hit me up. Feeling a big Mr. Big stuff. Feeling a Mr. Big stuff here. Is that a track, or are you just happy to see us, Joe? Feeling a Mr. Big stuff here. I don't really want to know what you're doing in your spare time, Joe.
Exactly. This is
it's a family podcast.
Exactly, open to everyone.
Yeah, you go back to your RuneScape. Lagging. No, I know Mr. Big Stuff. I know they're like an 80s group, aren't they? I know we've got a kind of delay in the chat, so we'll go back to that. Jay, no, it's the Soccer AM, mate. What's the Soccer AM? Candy Station? No, it's not. Mark B, Move Now. Anyway, go back to my track. I'm talking Jade, all right? Okay, all right. But no, it's a really good, funky British hip hop track. Mark B, who actually I think he passed away a couple of years ago. He's he knows sort of the underground circuit. There's a couple of tracks you know, but he only did a few. But I had it on. It's really good, mate. It's really, really good. Just quite a good funky sound, mate. Really good, nice hip hop lyrics. Just easy. Mr. Big Stuff. Who do you think you are, Mr. No, you're wrong there, Jade. We're having an argument here, right? Do you remember? You're talking about the catwalk, Jade. They did the catwalk with the Soccerette, which is obviously politically incorrect now. And they used to have the Soccer AM T-shirt. They used to bring them out, and they used to go Mr. Big Stuff. They used to walk down the Techers video where they showed the skills of the week. They used Mark B, Move Now at the start, and then they changed the track every week after that. The Soccer AM DVD that I used to have had this track in it. So put that in the pipe and smoke it.
Lend the DVD if anyone's still got a DVD player.
Yeah. No, I'm just joking, Jay. Thank you for the contribution, but you're wrong. Wasn't it the Soccer AM catwalk? No, the Soccer again. Sorry, Dave. We have an argument in this chat here.
We don't need a family argument here.
Big Stuff, yeah. Anyway, do you know what? Let's move on. Right. So there's all my tracks. I think everyone's moved on with the tracks there. So after tunage, you usually go to footage. I think because I've got one recommendation, Dave, from someone else. What have you got?
I've got one from Amit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Amit's done all four for us.
Oh, nice.
So do you want? Okay. I think Amit did the first one, the tunage last one. So do you want to throw your recommendation in for the footage first?
Well, okay. This is from my wife, and it is a program I was tempted to watch. I did watch the first 10 minutes of it once, and I kind of turned it off. So she's just carried on, and she smashed it all the way through. She's finished it, and there's a season 5 coming out. The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
Have you heard of it? Know it?
No.
It was on BBC iPlayer, but it's now on Amazon Prime. And it's about, it's basically how America is evolving at the moment. Basically, people can't give birth anymore. Women can't give birth anymore. But only a certain group of women can. This is like the outlay of the story. So they're used as like surrogates for other people who can't have babies. And they kind of use that as slavery and stuff like that to keep churning out like babies and stuff like that. But it gets really dystopian, very religious, a bit controversial in places. I've just followed it from a bit of a distance, but my wife really, really recommends it. So it's a bit gritty, it's a bit grim. It's got hard watching, it looks like. So Channel 4. My wife says Channel 4.
Okay.
I thought it was on Prime. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So yeah, good recommendation if you're looking for a bit of a hard hitting series. And I think there's 4 seasons, with the 5th season coming out soon apparently. That's the only footage recommendation I've got.
Okay. I'll go. Amit's gone for the big one, Stranger Things.
Do you know what? This was going to be mine, but I think we're going to have a bit of discussion here. So go on. So
yeah, obviously recommend Stranger Things. That's his. And I mean, we've watched. I know you've watched all of them. I've watched all of them. We've done, because it was season 4, volume 2. There was the two long episodes. And I know in one of our group chats we were talking about what do you reckon? Personally, I loved it. I think it worked. The last few, I think it works well, and it sets up for a season 5. Hannah was the same with your opinion. Was like, it was a bit long, didn't need to be that. They could cut that out, but I quite like when they do kind of set a scene. So like the last half an hour of the very last one. Obviously, we don't do spoilers on this show, so be careful what I said. They
all die.
I get what I say, but yeah, it sets it up nicely. They could obviously not have done the last. People were saying they couldn't have done the last half an hour, but I like how it tied things up and then sets it up for the next one. And possibly, I mean, it always depends on how they can end season 5. But maybe some people are saying just kill it at season 5. And I know that obviously all the actors are getting older and older now. How long can it last them saving an 11 saving the world every season type thing? But personally, I'm of Amit's. I agree with Amit there. I think I liked it. I loved it.
I mean, Amit's just asking me. I need to watch it. I've watched it. I'm up to date with all. I think me and my wife both felt it dragged. And like, if you watch the first 2 or 3 episodes, it's really horror-esque. It's a completely different genre compared to the last 3. And it was scary, spooky, tense. It was like, whoa, this is really creepy. This is good. And then I just felt like it all faded out. Like, I think they needed to kill off someone a bit bigger. You know, like with Matt's going into like, I nearly. The thing is, if there's only 4 people, sorry, I'm going to say it. Well, turn it off. Don't watch it.
Don't forget, because this is going to be on the internet forever, so it could still ruin people's. People watch this after the fact.
Okay, for the millions who are listening in, if you don't want to listen to obviously a spoiler, skip ahead. with Max going into it's like Game of Thrones. You either watch it, like it, or you don't. No, Jade, it's not like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is like up here. Stranger Things is here.
Disagree on that one, but anyway.
Do you know, we do Game of Thrones another time. But no, they should. Like, Max going into a coma at the end. I felt like they should have killed her off. I feel like they should have killed one of the main characters off. It's just they've survived for too long, gone through too much. Like they keep bringing these characters in, like Eddie, and Eddie was good. He was all right. I didn't really care too much of him, like being died. Do you want to hear a theory that I read today?
May as well.
Right. So everyone who's watching, which is like 2 people now, so it's probably just Amit and myself. So the whole Stranger Things is actually based on Dungeons and Dragons from the game they actually play in the first season.
Yeah.
Like with the Demogorgon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Apparently, now I'm not a Dungeons and Dragons fan, I just read this, but one of the characters in Dungeons and Dragons is something that the monster turns into like a sidekick. And apparently that the theory is that Eddie has got eaten by the bats and will turn into like a vampire or some sort of like sidekick monster. But in Dungeons and Dragons, that sidekick betrays the monster. So there's a theory. I don't think it's very plausible. But there's a theory that Eddie might come back and kill Vecna or stuff like that. But I think Will. My theory is I think Will should be sacrificed at the end because it's all brought back to him. Like, not forget 11. It was all about Will. Will's got like the goosebumps and stuff like that. And I know. Just for me, I thought the last 2 episodes were the penultimate one. Nothing happened, and the last one. I think they could have cut that a good 45 minutes short. To be fair.
It was like a feature film though, it being 2.5 hours.
I know. I don't think it should have been 2.5 hours. They could have cut that whole season to a really good short length. And Joe said RuneScape is based on Dungeons and Dragons. Nice plug there. Go back to your lagging. Amit's not a Game of Thrones fan. You got to try it, mate. You know.
We can have this argument another time. I can argue with the Game of Thrones one with you as well.
My sister said there's a huge, huge thing about Billy and Max's mum, that Wheeler lady. Well, Billy nearly got with Max's mum. What are you on about? Like, there's a huge, huge thing. But that was like in season 3, that passed. That Wheeler lady. The Wheeler lady. The wheelie bin lady. Have you got any theories, Dave? Or what do you think is going to happen in season 5?
Well, no, yeah, we'll be 5. Yeah, because like what you said there about Eddie maybe coming back, obviously that's what happened to 1. So 11 sent 1 into the upside down world.
Yeah.
And he was turned into that. So obviously if obviously you are a certain person or whatever, something that the upside down world want, I think yes, they can turn you into something else to find, because obviously one was controlled by, because obviously he had that obsession with spiders, didn't he, in the house. And in the first seasons when he looked out, it was the spider, wasn't it? And the drawings Will was doing, it was the spider. So I still think that is the main sort of like baddie or bad thing in the upside down world. That you don't think
Vecna is the main in the hierarchy. You think that sort of what are they called? It was the demigods and the demogorgons, and then what was that spider thing called? Did it have a name? The Shadow or something, or was it called the Shadow or something? I don't know.
Because it wasn't that. No, the Shadow was the stuff that the Russians had, wasn't it?
Right. Okay. Would that not be the spider thing, just in sort of cloud form?
I don't know. Maybe, but yeah, I think I don't think one. He was controlled by the big spider thing, whatever, we're not sure what the name is. I think that's the overall thing. Okay. And when stuff goes in there, it can turn it into
Jay said the flare thing. Oh, the flay minder, the mind flayer.
Flayer, yes.
Mind flayer. There you go.
Thank you, Jade.
The sister said the Wheeler lady, the mum, is in the cover in front of the house. She's in the cover in front of the house, but she hasn't been to the underworld. What do you mean she's in the cover in front of the house? She's in the cover. What do you mean she's in the cover in front of the house? I don't get that. I think you're drunk, Jade. Anyway, so yeah, okay. No, do you know, I am a fan of Stranger Things. I thought this season it kicked off really well, but I think they've milked it too much, and I think they should have killed someone off. I think they should have done. So I like a killing. Sorry,
like a bit
like Game of Thrones. It's like, you know, you can't touch anyone because they're just going to get killed anyway. What have you got for us, Dave? What's your footage?
It was something I found last week. It's four episodes on Netflix. So again, I've made it so people can watch it. Good progress. But it's from 2016. So I don't know whether Netflix have just got it or whether we just got lucky that we found it. It's called The Secret.
Okay. No, don't think I've heard of it. It's on Netflix.
Okay. Yes, it's on Netflix, just 4 episodes, so it's quite quick to watch. It's based on a true story, which I love stuff based on a true story because you're watching like, that's happened in real life. That's mental. That's actually happened in real life. It's about a dentist and a Sunday school teacher. They begin an affair. So they're both married. They have an affair that leads them to make a murderous pact.
Right.
And it's based in Ireland, as all good.
Okay.
As all good murdering stories are. I think it said when I was watching it, I think it was true events that happened from 2008 to 2011.
Okay.
But yeah, a dentist and school teacher, and yeah, I thought it was good, worth a watch. Not like the best thing I've ever watched, but very, very good, very watchable. And yeah, some couple of weird twists along the way. And yeah, because it's based on a true story, you watch it and then go, wow, that actually happened.
Does it star anyone that we know? Or anyone?
Yes, the main character, the dentist, is it James Nesbitt?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's from Northern Ireland. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. All right, okay. Yeah.
James Nesbitt, yeah.
I quite like him actually and stuff.
Yeah, he's the main character. Yeah, I think he always plays a bit of a weirdo, but he plays it very well. He plays it very well. Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Oh, okay. And that's on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix out there now from 2016. So I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's just made it to Netflix or what, but yeah, that was good.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll add that onto this. Mine's a bit old school from 2001. I wonder if you can guess it. There was 8 seasons of it.
Oh, bloody hell.
And there's 192 episodes.
Jesus. 8 seasons. Not a lot of stuff goes for 8 seasons, does it?
Now, the answer is within this question.
Okay.
8 times something equals 192.
This is really helpful if I was good with maths.
No, it's not Prison Break, Jade.
8 times.
Because the answer is in the equation. 8 times something. No, it's not Breaking Bad either. We've done Breaking Bad, damn it. And we've done Prison Break, Jade. The answer's in the equation. 8 times something equals 192. If you get that answer, that's the name of the show.
It's lucky I know how to use a calculator.
Are you going to do it?
I've just cheated. I've just done it.
So what's the answer?
24.
24. Awesome stuff, man. It is binge worthy. I binge watched these seasons. Did you watch 24?
I don't know if I just start. I definitely haven't watched all of it. 100%. I don't know if I've even watched one season or whatever. But for our lovely viewers this week and listeners, when we upload it onto the pod, you need to break it down. What is 24?
Do you know what? I'm just going to apologise to our little viewers there because I think there's a delay. And I was having a go at Amit and Jay saying Prison Break, Breaking Bad. Obviously, that's not going to be the answer to 8 times 20, 8 times something equals 24, equals 192. But they're all saying 24 now. So I apologise. There's a bit of a delay. Thank you. 24. Jack Bauer. Yes, Jack Bauer. Starring Kiefer Sutherland. A unique show because it's filmed in real time. It is every show is 60 minutes long for the hour, and it's nothing has ever been done like it. I don't think everything will ever, because it's so unique, and you're just copying that format. And it's not just because you can watch it. You think you're watching something in real time, it'd be really boring, but it's not, because there's so many twists and there's so many storylines gathering together that it just intertwines, and characters do then make an appearance down the line in other seasons. And then the bigger story is like stopping terrorist plots or presidential assassinations and stuff like that. And it's wicked, man. I remember my brother and sister will remember this. I remember buying the first season, because you used to buy box sets and DVD, didn't you? I bought the first season, loved it. So I bought 2 and 3, binge watched it. Then I bought 3, 4, 5, binge watched that. 6, 7. The only one though, the last season, number 8, it was based in London. I didn't get into that. I wasn't too big fan. I might do it again, but to be fair, do you know what? I might even watch it all again. But then that's 8 days of watching, because it's 24 episodes, isn't it? That's 8 days of watching.
It's a lot.
Do you know? I bet there's someone in the world, and it must be, who's just sat in a room and just binge watched 8 days worth.
Well, people will probably live stream stuff like that, because that's what that Mr. Beast does. He's like he's filmed himself counting to 100,000 and stuff. So I'm sure probably someone's done. I don't know how it would work with the licensing rights or whatever. Maybe if you had the TV off the screen and you reacted to all 8 days worth.
Amit says he's got 24, all of them on DVD. Man, you keep that. That's gonna be worth something in the viewer. Jade said, "Have you done Money Heist? Have you done Money Heist, Dave?"
No, I don't think so.
It's on Netflix. I think it's a French show, and it is about bank robberies and stuff. It is on my list to watch. It's just the thing is, you got to be in the right mood. If you're watching something that's got subtitles, you got to be in the right mood, because your mind's got to be on 2 things, isn't it?
No, if it's the one about with all the subtitles, I think I clicked play and I was like, nah. I'm out. I work all day, and the last thing I want to do is to settle down and have to read.
Sorry, Jay. Dave doesn't really want to watch that one, but I will. I'll put them on my list. So, but that's some good, really good. There's some good footage of the week there, really. So, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for contributing. And 24. Instant replay, Dave.
Let's check. Have you got instant replay recommendations?
I have one from my wife. It's funny how she recommends and then doesn't watch and doesn't like join us. Or maybe she's on there. I don't know.
We're up to 7 watching. So
okay, well, there you go. Amit said Money Heist, he had to edit the audio to English. See, I don't like doing that. Because it's like Squid Games. I think Squid Games, you could change the audio as well. Because then obviously it's dubbed, isn't it?
No, but the Squid Game one was but the Squid Game one I didn't have to dub it. I think it knows what country you're watching and does it automatically. And I thought the Squid Game one was kind of quite seamless in the dubbing. I think you kind of didn't really know. Like, obviously, there's like really bad ones, like old Jackie Chan films where he's like, "Hello, and yes, I'd like to see you," type of thing. But the Squid Game one, I thought it was, not a problem.
See, we watched it with subtitles just because I quite like the authenticity of like the accents and stuff like that. But everything's subjective and stuff like that. We don't judge. No judge, man. We don't judge. Jay said the accents are brilliant and makes it better in that Money Heist. We like authenticity, Dave. So we probably don't work too hard in the day, and we have intellectual stimulation still to do a bit of reading. Instant replay. If you don't know, instant replay is when we do a flashback of a sporting event. Could be something you've been to, something you've watched, seen. And I was even thinking it's maybe something you even want to go, you've missed and you've kind of wanted to replay anyway. So I do have a recommendation from my wife, Dave. Because obviously it's been Wimbledon, she's had the tennis on. She's quite a big tennis fan, and I think she really liked the 90s era. Like got Steffi Graf, Pete Sampras, Greg Rosetsky, Tim Henman and stuff. And she was really a fan of Andre Agassi. and she wanted to replay the 1992 Wimbledon win. But then she didn't do any research, and that's all she gave me. So I don't know who he played.
He was a bit of a poster boy for tennis.
I just remember him and Pete Sampras having the most hairiest chests.
You wouldn't get that nowadays. That would have been waxed off, wouldn't it? That would have been gone.
They are smooth as baby skin. But yeah, like Pete Sampras, usually his hair used to curl out a little bit like Tom Selleck, like just curled out, wasn't it? And Andre Agassi used to be exactly the same as well. But that was a very unique era because everyone kind of Pete Sampras was quite dominant, but it was a bit more open. Where now you've got Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal. Murray was there now and then, but those three just dominate. Where in the men's game and the women's game, it was much more open in that really. Do you remember the early Wimbledon 90s, Dave?
Well, no, I mean, you mentioned there was four. I think then in the guys there was kind of four key, like you just said, like Tim Henman was he's a bit Andy Murray-esque. He's like there and not. I know Andy Murray's actually won Wimbledon. Tim Henman never got past the semi or the quarterfinals, did he? And he was always British number one, wasn't he, Henman? But yeah, Agassi, Sampras, there was kind of like, there always seems like from that era to this era, in the men's especially, there has kind of been like 3 or 4 key at the top. Which would, if you were just like number 5 or number 6, you'd be really pissed off about, wouldn't you?
I remember Goran Ivanisevic. He was Croatian and he came through as a wild card in Wimbledon, and he beat Henman or Rosetsky on his way to winning Wimbledon. Do you remember that?
No, I don't recall the name.
He was like the Raducanu moment on the men's era in the 90s. I remember that because I swear he played either Henman or Rosetsky. I remember Rosetsky actually getting to the US Open final. So we did actually have a Brit that got to a final. We didn't really have many Brit women players that really did really well. I can tell you one actually. Can you name a British women's player from that era?
No, who's there's the commentator. I don't know. Was it Steffi Grant? She's a British commentator, isn't she? I think she's obviously
Steffi Graf.
Is it Steffi Grant? Is that the name?
Well, Steffi Graf I suppose she was German. She was very good, wasn't she?
Is it Grant? Steffi Grant. I've got that name in my head.
And do you remember? Here you go. My wife said he beat Goran Ivanovic, however it's spelled. He's married to Steffi Graf, my all-time favourite women's player.
Steffi, okay, that's who I'm thinking of.
Sue Barker. You think? My wife's saying you're thinking of Sue Barker, but Sue Barker didn't play tennis in the 90s.
I know. Yeah, Sue Barker. She's the current one. I thought Steffi Graf, but yeah. Again.
But it's interesting how we can't remember a British women's player from the 90s. But then you've got Laura Robson, Heather Watson, Emma Raducanu, China Konta. Oh, there's Anne Chiavafong. She was a pundit. This woman. She was millennial, maybe like sort of in the noughties. So tennis era weren't great though, really, for British all round.
But I think it's what you're saying. Like nowadays, you just listed off those female tennis players. Now I think that's just the sign of the times where we are getting women's sport in general is getting so much more people watching, money, funding, and stuff like that. Like obviously, all the women's Euros currently live on TV, all there for.
Have you been watching though, Dave? Have you been watching?
I mean, I'm not big football anyway, so I flicked in and out to keep watched England score because I think England are playing tonight again, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing now. Actually, I think.
Yeah. So I think this is their second game, isn't it? Or is it the third? I think the first one I flicked in and out to check the score and stuff, but. But in general, I think women's sport is going from strength to strength in terms of viewers and stuff like that. So that's probably why you can name more now than we could from the 90s.
Yeah, I tell you what's always been quite strong actually for women's sport is athletics. Like I remember Sally Gunnell, Tessa Sanderson. You had before Denise Lewis.
Yep.
Then you had who's the swimmer?
Oh, the tall blonde lady.
Yes.
Can't remember.
Oh, so bad. But it just showed, I just remember like Olympics being like the learning of names for like people who didn't really follow those sports. They're just put into this big spotlight where now a lot of our sports are getting a lot more coverage. So you kind of know them before they hit Olympics, which actually takes me to my actual instant replay, actually. Not the Olympics, but
smooth transition there. Smooth transition.
It just shows how far we've come from episode 1 to episode 10. But I, after 2012, I made sure to try and watch the Paralympics as well, as it been in London. And I remember because there was the big hype around Oscar Pistorius. You also there was a Brazilian runner, which I didn't research his name. I should have done that. And it all came down to the 100-meter T44 final. And we had Johnny Peacock.
Oh, I think I recall the name.
Did you watch that? Did you watch any Paralympics at all? Or did you watch any of the...
Again, in and out. I couldn't tell you exactly what I did and what I didn't watch. But I think obviously this must have gone well for him because I know the name. So obviously he must have got quite a bit of from it.
Well, I remember I just tried, because it was London, I tried watching as much as I could, and the athletics in the Paralympics were brilliant. Do you know anything about like the T44 or like the classifications and stuff like that?
Yeah, the classifications are depending on your disability ability type thing, how you're graded and who can compete against each other. Yeah,
but you also my wife said Pamela texting you. I'll check that in a minute. Okay, all right, okay. So if it's T, it means track, and then the 44 is the number to the classification. I remember doing a sports presentation on like the classifications. So then you've got, I think there's also F for like field, and then like swimming, it could be S as well. So like each sport has a letter, so you can tell, and then the number also classifications. And I believe the lower the number, the more kind of extreme the disability or like the condition. Mm-hmm. But I know that obviously the 44 though was lower limb loss, because you had Johnny Peacock. I didn't think he had like any limbs before his knees, and because it was all built up to like the battle of the Blade Runners, wasn't it? I remember doing an actual presentation for my degree actually about like the Blade Runners, about how it was all based on like the kangaroo style flexibility and attention, and it's just something like the tech behind it is crazy. I mean, it looked like they'll snap, but the amount of stress and tension that comes in. And was you there? Oh no, I actually went and watched it. So I'm waffling now. It's work called the Waffle Pack Coffee Pack podcast. Me and I think my wife came, Ali came, and we went to watch the Paralympics World Cup at the Athletic Stadium a couple of years after 2012. And I saw Richard, I forgot his name. He won gold in 2012 as well. And we watched the 400 meter of that. And he's also like a Blade Runner as well. And they're really slow to start off, but all of a sudden it's like someone has stuck NOS into them and they literally burst round. It's so crazy to watch because some will get really good starts and all of a sudden they're all over the place and all of a sudden they're all going at the same speed. It's really good to watch. Anyway, Johnny Peacock, he won that final against Oscar Pistorius. And it just threw them to threw him into like the limelight, he said, because you heard of him, gold medal. I think though he got silver in Rio, the next Olympics, but that whole Paralympics was amazing, man. As a whole, there you go. My sister saying it was so inspiring watching the Paralympics. It is like I love it, man. I like especially like the blind athletes, like the blind athletes when they run with the
guide. Yeah.
Crazy. Like there's so many There's so many good stuff, man. I'm sorry. I'm just going to quick check what's up because I'm being like. So my sister-in-law says it's Chrissy Everett. I don't know. Does that ring a bell? Chrissy Everett?
No, was that the tennis?
Possibly it sounds like a tennis star. I don't think that was the 90s though. Was that 90s? I don't know if it was 90s. I'm just checking what else got. Yeah, Chrissy Everett. It rings a bell, but I don't think it's the 90s though, is it? I don't know.
Right, you can tell this is a live stream because I just need to turn my light on.
Well, obviously maybe your aircon as well. So, by the way, if you're still with us, thank you very much. My wife's now got upstairs because I did hear I got upstairs. So thank you, Norm. Thank you. Should we move on to our next one?
I haven't done mine. I haven't done.
You haven't got to bring it back.
No, we're doing instant replay, aren't we?
Sorry.
You're jumping ahead. We still got more recommendations of my own to do. You're getting carried away.
Sorry.
So Amit's instant replay was Ayrton Senna winning his first race, which was in the 1985 Portuguese Grand Prix.
Wow.
So 1985. So that would have been the year after we were born. Long time ago. And then obviously Ayrton Senna is no longer with us because he passed away during a Formula One race when he had a crash.
And again, was that in 94?
94. Yeah, it was. Amit's
probably going to correct us on that.
Yeah, it was because Michael Schumacher was racing in that race, and there's rumours it was Schumacher's fault, but it's never been proven or anything.
Why did they say it was Schumacher's fault? Can you remember the incident? Did you ever read about it or anything? Or
if you watch, there's obviously that documentary Ayrton Senna, which I highly recommend. That's very good. But obviously nowadays there is cameras on every single piece of the track, whereas back then there wasn't. And Schumacher was very close to Senna where he crashed. So people say, was it his fault? Because obviously at that point there was no cameras on it. It only saw, and it was a really weird place to crash. And obviously he was such a good driver, he shouldn't have crashed there. So that's why people are trying to say foul play or anything. But I mean, these cars are so now they're even more high tech. But even then they're high tech. It could have been some kind of failure that sent him into the wall and died. But I do remember there are conspiracy theories out there.
Well, my sister's got a bit of research. Her boyfriend's Portuguese, so he might have contributed here. But he said, my sister said the Grand Prix in Portugal was in Estoril.
Okay.
And it was deemed too dangerous, so it was stopped in 1984 or 86. It's interesting to say it's too dangerous. The track was too dangerous. Wow.
Yeah, because nowadays, obviously, they've got to make sure they have certain barriers and this, that, and the other. And driver safety, again, more so now than then, is like paramount. So I wouldn't have thought back then they would have done that. So it was too dangerous.
It's also said I know my years, so I got 94 right. I'm a secret librarian. I'm like just like, test me on any years, I'll be all right. No, I remember because I don't actually remember Ayrton. Because I remember watching Formula One on BBC. It was always on BBC on a Sunday grandstand. I used to have like the old school Formula One. Dun, 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 dun.
That's the track.
Jade said it's moved to the Algarve, I believe. There is a Portuguese Grand Prix, isn't there? There is a Portuguese Grand Prix.
I think it's just come back. I think it hasn't been on the calendar for a while, but I think it is back now.
Okay. I need to watch that Ayrton Senna documentary.
It's very good.
Okay. I'll put that on. Thank you very much, Amit, for your consistency of recommendations as well.
Yeah. And then my instant replay is...
Bring it back is about...
as you know, I'm not a big football fan, but I love an underdog. And so my recommendation is... the instant replay is Leicester City winning the Premier League in 2016.
Oh, nice.
2016, because I love an underdog, and at the beginning of the season, no one thought that was ever possible, because I had a look and someone actually won 20 grand on a 5,000. The odds were 5,000 to 1
Yeah,
Leicester City to win the Premier League. They were the season before. They were promoted the season before in 2015, where they only finished 14th. So you wouldn't think a team finishing fourth. Well, maybe if you won normally the top four, maybe if Man United finished 14th, yes, they could turn it around and win it the next season possibly. But Leicester City just promoted, finished 14th the season before, and then go and win it that year. And the research I've done says they only lost 3 games that season in 2016. So yeah, that was my instant replay, because obviously I can't remember specific points or whatever, but they won it. Tottenham were close to winning it, but Tottenham needed to win their last 3 games of the season to catch them.
They drew. It failed on the point that they drew against Chelsea.
What was the score?
2-2.
Yeah, and they were winning 2-0, and they blew that 2-0 lead.
Feisty game. Yeah, no, I remember that. I can tell you a little bit more about that season. Jamie Vardy hit the record, I believe, 13 games. Someone might correct me. There's 13 games consecutively scoring, and he broke the record. And I remember that because he was on fire. Yeah, but that was wicked. Claudio Ranieri, he was the manager, and he was sacked at Chelsea, and he was known as the Tinker Man because he'd like to change his teams a lot, but he didn't. They had a very close squad that season, and it just seemed they all worked very, very well. They had Riyad Mahrez, who they bought for 500 grand, I think. I can't remember from where, but then they sold him for like 30 million. They made a massive profit. And yeah, man, that's a wicked recommendation. Because do you think something like that will happen again, Dave?
Well, I mean, like you said, no one would ever think that was happening, and they had like cheaper players or whatever. And it's kind of a bit like when Harlequins won the Premiership. It was like they were so far down the end, and they managed to pull it through and do whatever. I just love the whole underdog thing, and it makes sport more exciting rather than like the same team, same player winning over and over again, just to throw something in the mix.
I was going to ask what would be the rugby equivalent of that, but you just already mentioned Harlequins. Would that be still?
It's not. I mean, the Quins aren't like bottom of the table or anything like that, but the season that they won, they got rid of their coach. Were down there, and they let the players run the show with some 4 like ex-players coaching, and just turned it around. So kind of a bit similar in that point of the season, like Quins were written off and they turned it around. So I think that's why, Leicester being where they were in 2015 to go and win it in 2016, no one could ever, and why the bookies gave 5,000 to 1.
Yeah. Like imagine just being that person, just putting a couple of quid on, thinking, well, it's only a couple of quid. And then just watching the season go, no, this ain't going to work out. Because Gary Lineker, at one point, they said, because they were leading the Premier, he said, like, if they win it, I'm going to do match a day in my underwear. And they won it, and he actually did. It's just something that, like, and again, it was, like you said, it was refreshing, wasn't it? It was refreshing because Man City, Chelsea, United, Arsenal, and it was only Tottenham that gave them a bit of a rivalry. They all kind of had a bit of a bad season, but you got beat who put in front of you, and Leicester did the job on most of them actually. So yeah, man, that's wicked. I love that. That's good, man.
Right, now I will allow you now to go to the next topic, because that is all instant replays done.
All right, so bring it back. This is where we like to bring something back that's no longer with us in our modern world. It could be a TV show, a bit of tech, could be, again, anything of any era, just something that we bring back and we think would just make life just a bit more fun and lovely. I've got one from my wife, and I know you've got one from Amit, our loyal fan.
Amit's one, to be fair, I've just reminded myself what Amit's one is, and it's a good one. Right. To be fair play to him.
Well, I'll do my wife's one, and then because it might link on to mine. So my wife Norma wants to bring back a certain radio station, which I remember it was kind of a pirate station back over in England. So I don't know if it was something in Northern Ireland. It was quite a dominant station. You remember Atlantic 252?
No.
I remember something similar. Like it was a dance only station, so it was like house, trance, techno. I don't think they did garage or anything like that because we used to have like pirate stations back in London, didn't we? Like Flex, was it Flex?
Yeah.
Flex 103.6 or something. Was it something like that?
But the thing is, I mean, that those days are gone. You don't have pirate stations anymore because obviously you've got digital radio and the internet now. It's so easy to be able to do a radio station now without it being pirate. So people being like, before they were doing it like disused houses, warehouses, putting like the egg boxes on the water stuff and then sound dampening and stuff, and like that's all gone.
Well, maybe my wife just wants to bring it back on DAB then, Atlantic 252. But I can tell what you mean though, because like we used to drive around and we used to listen to pirate stations in the car and stuff because it was just what we were into in that. And I could definitely, because my wife was into a bit like souped up cars like yourself, and she used to have like a little Corsa. She's always had Corsas, and she used to have a little silver Corsa with proper alloys, like.
Had body kit, didn't it?
Spirit of the Flight. I'll find the picture for you. It was proper. It was low. I think it was lowered. And she drove that into the ground because I remember we drove from one side of Northern Line to the other. We had to stop a few times because the engine would overheat. And she sent me into this random farm once to go get some water, and I was like a fish out of water. I didn't know what I was doing. So rest in peace that car. But no, do you know? Yeah, maybe she might be able to find Atlantic 252 on like Spotify somewhere. So do some research maybe. But no. Thank you, wifey. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that recommendation. I do have another bring it back from Jade.
Go on.
I'm not too sure I agree with this. She said her boyfriend Dan would like to bring back Blockbusters.
What the store where you'd go and rent films?
Yeah, I'm. Because
why would you need to?
Well, if it's the TV show, it was already brought back at some point. Do you remember Blockbusters? It was brought back for a little bit.
Who was the host?
Oh, I can't remember.
What did they do on Blockbusters? Just remind me.
So it was like the hexagon squares where you had to get across from one board to the other, and there were letters.
Oh, that was,
so what tea do you drink with? Oh, a cup of tea or something. Something like it's really bad. You know what I mean? And then someone could try and block you as they go across. So you had two people trying to get across like that, and then like Blockbusters and stuff.
Yep, no, I do remember that. Yeah, I can't remember.
If Dan means the store, no.
Yeah, why would you? Why would you bring that back? Streaming now, you can stream everything. That's why it went out of business.
The only thing I'll bring back about Blockbusters is the popcorn. I used to go to Blockbusters just to get the popcorn, not the DVD rentals. You just get a big bag of popcorn, and they were good. And that was the only thing I went into Blockbusters mainly for. So if it means the show, it's already done. If it means the store, I think you need to get into streaming, Dan. I've also got another bring it back from Jade. Actually, my wife Norma says the experience of going to pick your own movie in a store. So she kind of backs him up. They want to go into Blockbusters and walk around the store and go, a bit like HMV.
Yeah, but then that's just as annoying as just scrolling through Netflix or Prime with.
And also, they've only got a certain amount of copies. Netflix and streaming, they'll never run out of copies.
Yeah, so imagine you go in there and you go, right, yes, I want to watch this. You take it you give them to the till, don't you? And they go, oh, yeah, no, we're all out of that one. They're all out at the moment.
Because
we'll put you on the waiting list.
All the staff used to get all the new stuff. Like I used to rent out PlayStation games, like, and you go, oh, you got this. No, it won't be available for another 2 weeks. And just like, oh, okay. No, I'm not with that. See, look, I mean, popcorn at Blockbusters was like plastic. No, it wasn't. It wasn't like plastic. Popcorn at Blockbusters was good.
I don't remember it being plasticky. I don't remember having a complaint about it.
Jay said, me and Dad went one time, took ages to pick a film, came back, and it was in another language, and we had it for 5 days, rented it. Well, there you go. So you're just backing us up that we shouldn't really bring back Blockbusters because if you can't get it, and if you do get it, it's in another language.
then obviously they fine you and stuff like that if you bring it back a little bit late and stuff. So
yeah,
obviously that's where they make the money. But we signed up to a library this week, like just get our little boy into books and stuff. And she goes, "Oh, we don't do late fines anymore." I was like, "Sweet."
Should they tell you that? Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of library rentals, if Panda's watching, do you remember what he used to do with libraries and rentals?
Yes. Yes, I
So
do know.
I'm going to out him. He used to go and like say if it was like some new music would come out, the library would have the music. So he'd go in there, oh no, nice, yes, can I borrow this music? He'd come home, he'd put it in his computer, rip the music, and take it back, and then he'd have a copy of it always.
Did he used to sell some CDs for like 50p or something?
Well, he might have charged you. He would have given them to me for free, but
lose on me head then. Yeah, no, yeah. To be fair, was that legal?
no, that's against copyright and all sorts. But I don't think they're going to go after you, Panda. So don't worry about me saying that.
But then, if we bought, or say we actually bought an album, and then we ripped it onto our laptop, because the ripping function there, would that be illegal?
No, so you can rip it to listen to it on your laptop because you own the copy of it, but you can't redistribute it.
Right. Okay. So once Panda gave out CDs of it, that's a point where you get illegal.
Well, no, because he was renting the music from the library. So he's redistributing it to himself.
Right. My sister said, don't know if you guys remember LimeWire. Jade, we lived on LimeWire. I still got MP3s from LimeWire on my laptop.
The problem is with LimeWire was you have to be careful that you weren't downloading all sorts of viruses because people could name a virus song.mp3 and you go, yep, download.
We've got some LimeWire fans. Amit said he remembers it. Norma says she loved LimeWire. Because I remember trying to use Napster once, but then then they turned legit and started paying people. But then got rid of Napster, LimeWire. I've still got MP3s off LimeWire rips and stuff like that. And but yeah, those long gones. I mean, it's so yeah. You can't hack that sort of music anymore. I think everything's just.
Well, that's it. I mean, obviously, you can still, some artists still do CDs, so obviously you can still do it that way. But yeah, on the streaming, you never download it.
Jade just said, I think you had to fix our computer loads of times for that, Dave, because of the viruses. I think you did.
Yeah,
you did. And that was my fault, actually, a lot, actually, because a screen would just come up, like, your screen's locked and stuff like that, and you'd have to do like a safety mode and stuff like that. I remember that. And my wife's laughing because my sister's called you David.
Some people do.
I swear your mum only called you David when
you normally get the full name, don't you, when you're in trouble.
Oh, good man. What are we talking about? Bring it back.
Yes.
Right. Was that your bring it back?
No.
I've literally just lost time. What are we talking about now?
No, you've just done your recommendations.
No, that was Norma's.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do Amit's. Let's do Amit's.
Amit wants to bring back Krypton Factor.
Yes.
What a show.
Oh.
What a show. What a show. The Krypton Factor. So it had, didn't it? It had, correct me if I'm wrong, it had sort of like challenges in the studio, didn't it? Where they had to be like smart and they would do like a plane simulator and they'd all have to get different points. You have to complete the course via simulator. But then they'd also have ones outside, like going.
They did have a flight simulator, didn't they?
Yeah, you'd have to do. So there was stuff inside the studio, and then by the end of it, wasn't it? By the end of the show, how many points you had? The final Krypton Factor was like an obstacle course, and by how many points you had was when you started. And obviously, the better you'd done, the more of a head start you got.
Yeah.
And then obviously the winner was the one that got to the end. But yeah, it was a bit like like how the challenges and stuff. It was a bit kind of like Crystal Maze-esque, wasn't it? In terms of the, I mean,
yeah.
it loosely
That,
type of like.
that assault course at the end was like everyone's dream because they had the zip line into the mud and stuff like that, climbing the big ropes up and stuff. And yeah, do you know what? They did bring it back once, I swear, just for a short series on Channel 4. But then obviously it just never sort of stuck a little bit. Just very quickly, Dave, have you got your phone on you, Dave?
Yes.
You got a lot of charge?
Yeah.
Can you get the YouTube stream up and take over the chat? Because I've got 2% and I think it's going to go. But everyone's loving Krypton Factor. Jade said she's missing Love Island for this.
Oh dear! Oh, what a shame, Jade.
Joe has recommended Rentford Rejects.
Oh no, I did watch that. I don't know if I'd bring it back. But no, I do. I do remember it.
I wasn't a big fan of Rentford Rejects because I found it a bit awkward to watch. Especially there was one of the kids on there. He pretended to be foreign and he get them talking like this, and I just didn't like. And I forgot what his name was. My brother will probably tell me in a minute. But yeah, if you could take over the chat, mate, that'd be appreciated because I should have charged my phone.
No, I've got it on my other screen. I can see the chat.
Do you know what? I'm going to do the same then.
Go on, you do it because I think I need to put on my glasses to be able to read it.
Okay. What's the link? How do I find that? Can I just find the link on YouTube?
Yeah, of course you can.
Well,
just search for. Come on, search for our channel. You know, you should know the name of it.
I'm just checking if I subscribe to our own channel. I'm sorry.
Don't even subscribe to us, Jesus.
Right. I apologise, everyone who's watching from it. Just go get yourself a cup of tea or something.
Joe says, can we name one of the main actors from Rentford Rejects? A clue: he now has his own late night show in the States.
Shut up. No, James Corden.
He wasn't, was he?
He hasn't. Not really?
It's got to be James Corden who Joe means, but I never knew he was on Jimmy Fallon. Jade says Jimmy Fallon. I don't think Jimmy Fallon was on Rentford Rejects, surely. Jade, can you?
No, Jimmy Fallon. No.
Joe, you need to answer this one for us. Who was it? I don't think it would have been Jimmy Fallon, but James Corden. That was my guess, the same as yours.
Yeah, I've got the thing up, so I can take over the chat if you want. So
yeah, spot on, James Corden. Who knew it? I don't remember him being in it.
Really, James Corden for Rejects.
I know he was not memorable in it. That's for sure.
I can't remember that at all. I remember that bit of Rentford Rejects. I think was filmed in Chiswick. Yeah, that's what I can remember. All right, so what we've had Krypton Factor, we've had Atlantic 252 as a radio station, we've had Rentford Rejects, Blockbusters ain't making it. Blockbusters ain't making it. What did you want to bring back? Have you done yours?
No. It's a lot. This live stream. There's a lot to take in, isn't there?
Good though. I like it. Yeah. I think it's working well. Go on. Right, go on. What's yours?
Mine is a cartoon that I want to bring back.
Right.
Tom and Jerry.
Oh, the old school stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So when I was looking into it, apparently, do you know when it started? The 1940s was the first incarnation of it, and it ran to obviously the people that originally did in 1940 weren't around, but people who got passed on, and apparently the last one was done in 1994. So that's quite some run. But
that last one in 94, was that the original run, or was that when it sort of rebranded as Tom and Jerry and Friends, and they started to get, the animation changed from actual artist animation to CGI, sort of like computer animations?
Well, no, I don't know if they ever did computer animation. I think it was always correctly done in terms of. Do you remember? There was a guy we went to school with, and he would do like the Mickey Mouse stencils on like clear acetate, and he always looked. I think he was always like destined. He always looked like he was destined to get a job with Disney. Was it? Do you know what? I don't know if it was Richard Blake? You know, who did the DJing? I don't know if it was
Yeah.
him that would
Maybe.
do the
Maybe.
acetates as well, because he's very clever. What they have to do is the way they do it is, so if you're looking at the drawing from this side, they paint it this side. So if it's got the black nose, they have to do the nose first, and then the colours go on from behind.
Right.
Turn
Okay.
it around, then you've got, so they paint it from behind, and when they turn it around, it's then got the characters. Those like really clever. He used to do them for like sell them for like people's birthdays and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I'll bring back Tom and Jerry. Bonus points for anyone. I don't know if we will open it up to the chat first. Rather, if you do know the answer, don't say. What was the name of the dogs? So there was a dad and a son when they appeared in some of the in some of the episodes. They were grey bulldogs.
Did it not start off though with like a housemaid, a housewife, and she always had a broom and she was hitting Tom?
Yeah, you never saw her face though.
Yeah,
you never saw her face. But yeah, as it went on, there was a few different characters because they'd obviously be running around the house, and then Jerry would go like into the dog's house, and then Tom would be like while the dog was sleeping, trying to get to him. But then he'd obviously always wake the dog, and then the dog would chase him. And then later on, that he had a son, and then the son would chase after him. He would go, "Yeah, that's my boy."
Right. Okay. Well, no one in the chat has actually said, yeah, Jay said you saw a face you never see. They've suggesting Looney Tunes, Wacky Races. Do you know, Wacky Races, it was all right. It's okay. It's okay, Wacky Races. I quite like it.
Yeah, Jade agrees. You never saw her face. Anyone? No one's got the dog's name.
No, go on. Put us out of our misery. Go on. Unless someone puts it in the chat in a minute.
3, 2, 1. No, they're done. It was Spike and Tyke.
It doesn't ring a bell, so I've been educated there.
I was a big. I can't lie. I have no idea about the dogs here. Yeah, no, it was Spike and Tyke, the grey bulldogs. Yeah, I was true fan here. Tom and Jerry.
No, I like the old school ones. The new ones are rubbish. Didn't like the new ones as well. Jay said he remembers the dog and his son. He had a red collar. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they did have a red collar. I think the dad had the red collar and the son had a blue collar, I believe.
Maybe you and my sister need to do some sort of binge watching of Tom and Jerry. So
I would do.
My bring it back is a bit of a spin off Amit, and it is a show that was on ITV. So CITV. So you used to go in from school. It either used to be BBC One or ITV. It used to be either from like 4:00 up to like 5:30 or just shows, and you used to switch from one. And this one, I swear, it was on a Friday, and it was straight away. If I say Pat Sharp and the Twins.
Oh, Funhouse.
Another show like the Krypton Factor, which I wanted to go on, especially with the go-karts going around.
I was just about to say go-karts.
And then having the run of the place at the end to try and find the gold. Was it the gold stars? Was it gold stars? Or it was something. They had to collect things, and then they had to come out, and because it was always a pair of kids, and they tag, go in, and they could see where all the prizes are, and they come back out. I remember watching one where one of the pair, because it was always a pair, one went in and took the whole duration. I think it got like a minute or something, wasn't it? And took the whole minute, and then the buzzer went, and so the other child didn't get to have a go on the funhouse. I would be fuming. That'd be kneecap shot. But what a show, man! What a show! Oh, a whole lot of fun, prizes to be won. There you go, Norsie.
Yeah.
Pat Sharp, man. I'm getting hair like him as well. So, go-karts. See, look, everyone knows go-karts, funhouse.
The go-karts is the one that sticks out in my mind that they did.
But to be fair, in our minds, they're probably the fastest things on earth. If we watched it again, they're probably only going a couple of miles an hour, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be faster than a walk. But yeah, and again, us having go-kart experience, we'd literally do some maneuvers, wouldn't we? Put them in the wall, just like that. But yeah, it's a good breed of bats, man. I like that. It's a good breed of bats. Some worked, some didn't. Sorry, Dan, blockbusters ain't getting through. So there we go. So we've come to a point where we've stopped with the recommendations, and we've come to the point of our last two final topics. And we've got what's your price and would you rather? So this is quite good for those who are still with us to give us your opinions of what you do. Have you got what's your price this week, Dave?
I've got what's your price. I haven't got would you rather.
I've got would you rather, and it's quite a fun would you rather. So it's quite a good one actually, right? So for those who don't know what's your price about, we try and haggle each other to a price. We give each other a situation, and then we say, right, what's your price to do this? And then they give us a price. We try to haggle them down to a better price. And it's usually something they don't want to do because that's the whole point and fun of it. So, do you want to go first, Dave?
I'll go. I've gone back to heights from episode 1. I've gone back to heights.
Right. Okay.
I think this one's. Did I do bungee jump for you in the first one? Wasn't it? Was it bungee?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're on a bridge and you do a bungee jump. You had a price. I didn't listen back to find out what your price was. Imagine you're on that bridge and you jump and you're with a parachute, so you're doing a base jump.
Right.
How much? What's your price to do a base jump? So you haven't even got that cord to pull you back up. And these base jumps as well, they're mental because literally they throw themselves off whatever they're throwing off. They've literally got seconds to then deploy the parachute. It's not like they fall because obviously if you're in a plane and you're going with an instructor, you fall for however long, then you pull the parachute, and then if that doesn't work, you've got a backup one. These base jumpers, it's like split seconds to decide what you're going to do. So it's I think I would be a bit like, I'd want probably a bit of cash, and I know you don't like heights. So where's your thoughts and feelings on the old base jumping?
Well, being honest, I'd rather do a base jump than a bungee jump.
Really?
Yeah. Because when you base jump and you do the parachute, it's over. Bungee jump, it's not over. You fall and then you go boom, and then you go up again, and you go boom, down again. It's just constant of that falling, that free fall. You've got so many free falls until that bungee just stretches out, and then you're just swinging upside down, which is even worse. And then you got to be then either lowered to the ground, So the bungee jump is a longer episode of uncomfortability for me. I'd rather base jump and get over done with. Honestly, I would like to parachute jump out of a plane. I always thought it would be in me to do, because it's like terminal velocity, isn't it? If you jumped out of a plane, you speed up, and then you hit terminal velocity, the maximum speed that you fall at, and it just plateaus. And your body just becomes very, very comfortable with it. It's like that zip line that we did in Wales. You had quite a build up of speed, but then all of a sudden it just plateaus and you just constant at speed. You don't feel anything.
Yeah, but we're not talking plane. We're talking just from like a bridge.
I know.
It's very quick. But
the base jump is quite quick though, isn't it?
Yeah, but my theory was with the bungee jump, you've got that physical. There's a physical connection, safety rope to the bridge. There's a physical connection. With the base jump, that's like parachute, and that's it. There's nothing.
Just very quickly, I've just got to give a hello to Joe, our New York.
I've just seen it.
He's in.
He's here.
Right, Joe, come on. We're on our last two topics, so don't worry. It's on YouTube. You can watch it again if you ever get bored or want to need to fall asleep. But we're just discussing our what's your price base jump. Again, it'll be over. I'll probably do it quite cheap that Dave. I think
Really? Okay.
yeah, the bungee jump, I swear it was like 500,000. Like it was episode 1, wasn't it? It was like 500,000 I'll do it for. This 30 grand.
Really? Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
You're not going to haggle me. You're just going to leave.
I thought you were going to go because, like I said, like for me personally, I think I prefer to do bungee jump because there's
Really?
that physical connection to whatever you're jumping off.
It could snap.
It could, but I think I would
Swing into a rock.
Hmm?
You could swing into a rock.
Yeah, but the base jump, you could just fall into rocks. The parachute doesn't go
Yeah,
off.
but it's going to be over quick, man. It's going to be over quick.
The same as the bungee jump would be over quick.
Yeah, but if
the bungee snapped.
But if you swing into a rock, hit your head, you're going to be on a concussion, you're just be still there. Base jumps can go flat. That's it. Game over. You're not going to feel it. You're done. No, 30 grand. And is that okay? Are you going to agree to that?
I mean, yeah, because I thought you'd go higher, to be honest.
Well, what did you think?
Well, yeah, I thought, yeah.
6 figures.
Mil or something.
No, I think you've assumed wrong there that I get a bit of a no, but I'll be okay with base jump. I might be okay with base jump. Bungee jump, no. I don't know what. If anyone's in the chat, if you're listening, put how much you would put in the chat, how much it would, or even if you do it for free, if you're that much of a daredevil, really, to be fair. So
I might look into base jumping in Northern Ireland and see if I can get you a birthday or Christmas present and see if you actually go through with it.
Why, you got 30 grand spare?
No, just as a present. No, they're not going. It's not going to be that to buy a ticket for it and then see if you do it.
No, I think we've learned a lesson for buying things like that for friends. Because we had an ex-friend who we bought a hotel room for. Do you remember? And he lived across the way from a hotel room, and he didn't use it. So we've got to be careful of buying things for people who are literally on their doorstep because they might not use it. Ungrateful. Naming no names. But he's not listening and he's not with us. So fuck you. Language. Right, Dave, what's your price? Like you, I've gone back to dogs. For people who don't know, Dave hates dogs. And Joe said, I wouldn't do that, Dave. We all know how much Ben cacked himself before the zip line.
Yes, big time. Big time. Like a little girl.
Yeah, you can talk, Joe. You didn't do it.
Did he not?
No.
I don't remember him not doing it.
Right, no.
He was probably too busy listening to Ben Howard. He didn't want to stop listening to Ben Howard to zip line.
No, the only reason I got a bit worried, right, is because as we're growing up the quarry, you heard the sound of the zip line go, and it was quick. I didn't realize it was going to be that quick. I thought it was going to be a bit more mellow than that. So again, I've done zip line before, quite extreme ones, but it was quite mellow. But this one, you literally do dive down. You do free fall for a little bit, and then you plateau a little bit. So Joe said he was sponsored by vodka and orange that day. Well, I mean, if you throw up, the only place it's going to go is down into the quarry. So I mean, it's not, you had your chance there, mate. So if you didn't experience it, you can't have a judge. Anyway, right. Well, I've gone back to dogs, Dave, and we all know that you wouldn't stay in Battersea Dogs Home for no money with all the doors and cage open. So I've got to be a bit more mild than that. So instead, what's your price to replace all the meat for the week in your dinners with dog food? Now, I know you like gluten free. Just imagine you weren't gluten free, and there's no dietary requirements, there's no health restrictions. Okay, so it's all quite safe. But the texture and the taste of dog food. Now, I will give you this. You can put into sauces and spices and stuff like that, but it's still dog food. All right. So think of all the dinners you would have in a week. So you might have a bit of steak. So you're gonna have to make a tuna steak. You may have to make a doggy steak.
You might do a bit of like a tuna mix. So instead of tuna mix, you can have a bit of pedigree jum onto a bit of jacket potato. You might have burgers. You might have hot dogs. A bit, good dog food hot dog. You might have a bit of toad in the hole. A bit of dog food and Yorkshire pudding. So have a think. Dog food's in the wraps. You like a bit, I know, again, gluten-free. Don't worry about that. Okay, dog food in the wraps and stuff like that. A bit of El Paso. Get bolognese.
The thing is like dog food. It looks like. I mean, well, no, I know you can get. Was it like it's like cat food? You can get wet or dry, can't you?
Yeah. Well, so I'm talking the wet pedigree.
Yeah, it like comes out in like jelly and that kind of stuff. It doesn't look the nicest, does it? For how long?
For a week. Week's worth of dinners.
God. Only dinner? Or breakfast, lunch and dinner?
No, just dinners.
I don't know. I don't think it's, I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty rank. I don't know.
I think your mate Harry's just joined us.
I'm late, yeah. Very, very late. Very late, Hazard. God, he's missed, Harry, basically, you're going to have to watch your back. You're going to have to watch your back because we're wrapping up here almost. What's your price? And we've got Would You Rather at the end. So, but thanks for joining, mate. We're going to have to watch your back. What's Jay put? It's called
Pedigree Bum for a reason.
I thought it was Pedigree.
So come on, Dave. What's your price for a week worth of dinners of dog food replacement for the meats?
Tom's here. He said,
"Oh, he's here. He's
here. Maybe he's just been quiet. He's been not getting involved. 15k.
You do it for £15,000 for some pedigree chum replacement. I mean, what's the worst going to happen? You're not.
It's just going to be disgusting, isn't it? It's just not going to taste nice.
You're not going to get ill, are you? You're not going to get ill.
Because people like eat like dog biscuits and stuff for a joke and stuff, don't they? I don't think you're going to get, because obviously, what could they put in it that would be bad for you but okay for a dog?
So why does it smell differently then? What's the smell? Like when you open up pedigree chum, you smell, it's dog food. So there must be something in it that the smell attracts the dogs and not humans. So there's got to be something in there, surely.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, dogs like sniffing each other's asses and stuff, don't they? So maybe they make it.
I know, but on the pedigree chum, it's like chicken and duck or bacon, or liver and turkey. There's always a mixture of meats in there. So in hindsight, on the outside, it actually looks quite nutritious. Is it?
I mean, I don't know if it's nutritious. As I said, I've never read the ingredients of dog food because I
don't have a dog, unfortunately. I tell you what I do have. I have cat food here because we've got a random stray cat that comes to our garden, so we've been feeding it. I can get the bag quickly and tell you what's in the cat food.
No, it's all right.
15k, Tom says. Would you do it for 15k?
I think I'd do it for 10.
Okay. I mean, it's not a hard thing, but it's just the thought of eating dog food every day for dinner.
Yeah, it's just not going to be nice. You're probably not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be pleasing or whatever. But quick bit of cash, week of your life. Walk away 10. I think that's all right. Any haggling? Or?
Yeah. What about 7? £1,000 a day. £1,000 a day for one dinner. So you just got to eat a dog food dinner for £1,000.
Yeah, no, actually, if you put it like that, yeah, it's £1,000 a day. That's a good wage, isn't it?
Yeah, Joe said you do 10k.
Yeah,
you've gone from 15 to 10 to 7. So it's £1,000 a day. It's £1,000. I mean, how long does it take you to eat dinner, Dave?
Depends on my portion, but Okay,
well, we're going to talk about whole tin, so it's going to be a big plate.
Oh yeah, no, but
and I know you like your kebabs as well. So
yeah, I inhale my food, so it's probably gone in 10 minutes. So yeah, it's probably like £1,000 for 10 minutes work a day. It's not not 10 minutes. I mean, I do eat quickly, but
knowing it's dog food, would you like hold your breath eating it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, try to not smell it and that.
Well, it depends how potent it is, but like you said, if I can put other stuff in it,
spice and stuff,
and if you got whatever to go with it or whatever.
Then the jelly oozes out on the plate and
delicious.
Abbott said, I would skip dinner for that week. Oh, Eric wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. Not even for like 15K, like Tom says.
He sounds like Joe from New York has done it before because he said it's
that's
not that bad. So maybe he's.
Was you there when we were in Oceania when it was a student night and they had a tin of dog food, and he went, whoever eats this tin of dog food gets a big bottle of Prosecco or something.
What?
Yeah. And I actually knew, oh, do you know what? I think I know the guy. I remember, I'm getting flashbacks. I think it was a guy called Owen. Oh, he's at my uni. I remember him going up to the DJ booth. There was a fork, tin of dog food, and he ate it. He was drunk, and he got like a cheap bottle of wine. My wife said, "Can you season it?" Yeah, you can, but it's still dog food. It's still the jelliness. It's still like the bits of it, and I mean, who knows what's in dog food? I mean, they won't get like a fillet cut, would they? They'd get scraps of ear and cartilage and really, really bad bits of muscle and stuff. And Tom said he was there.
Tom
yes,
remembers it.
Yes.
Remembers it. What that geezer's what's probably happened to him is he's probably run out of money, and then he's gone. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't scrounge any more drinks, but I'll be the guy, and then he'll get the bottle, and then go, lads, drink up. I've got a free bottle of wine. It's probably like a bottle of wine that costs like £7, but I really don't remember entertainment like that at Oceania. Like they must have been struggling for.
Well, they were packed nights as well. They weren't. Yeah, or it could have been the works. If the works, it was definitely one of them. And I'm glad that Tom remembers because I remember watching and thinking that's disgusting. So I remember not being as drunk at that point. I'm thinking that's disgusting. Jay said he's 15K up. Yeah, well, I mean that's the whole point of haggling, though, Dave. I've got Dave down to 7, so he's done £1,000 a day rather than because that's double. That's like £2,000, £2,000 a day. So. Wow, that's not bad. Thank you very much, the audience, for that participation. We'll still keep comments going as we move on to our final topic. And we do a would you rather section. Did you do one this week, Dave, or is it just me?
No, I've left that up to you.
That's fine. That's all right. That's cool. I've got quite a fun one, actually, to be fair, because I know your commute to work, Dave, is a walk through the garden.
Oh, it's taxing on the legs.
But your commute used to be quite rough, didn't it? Like, as in just a long drive, wasn't it?
Yes.
It could have been.
It would have been, 3 years ago. I was probably doing a good 300 a week.
Wow.
300 a week, yeah.
And how long would you be in the car for on a bad day?
So on a good day, it would probably be an hour each way, so 2 hours. But on a bad day, if there was any traffic or any accidents or anything like that, it could go one way, could be up to 2 hours. So then if it was good on your way home, it's 3, could be 4. Yeah, it could be like 4 hours a day.
Wow.
In a car. And that's just, it's like wasted time. And I think with COVID, it's proven people can work from home, offices aren't needed. Yes, I know some jobs you do need to be at your job, like a doctor. A doctor can't work from home, or a builder can't work from home.
Yeah.
But there's still like some jobs like you see online and they're advertising and they advertise remote working, but you've got to come into the office 2 days a week. So they're paying a load of money for an office to sit empty 80-90% of the time. It's mental. But anyway, that's a gripe of mine, but there's no gripe of the week.
We haven't done that topic. No, 4 hours, man. If that was the worst day, 4 hours in the car, and because I used to take the M25, and I remember you saying like the back routes could have been just as bad if everyone's taking them as well, trying to avoid the M25, and because I know that area a little bit, and I felt sorry for you, mate. To be fair, I mean my commute wasn't too bad. Half an hour on a bike is good. Reason why is because my would you rather is a choice of travel getting to work. Right, so imagine you did work far away, not in your garden, because otherwise this would you rather
doesn't apply whatever to you, it'd be the worst would you rather. So my would you rather, and really to the audience as well, is if you had a choice and just imagine it was viable and imagine you could do this to work. So would you rather zip line to work, all the way to work, just hook on vroom, all the way to work, and you go back as well, right? So the zip line, it goes to work and it goes back. Or would you whitewater kayak to work? So imagine there was a river that went to your work, like Whitewater Rapids, lots of fun, just like a big adventure, and you could also do the same on the way back as well. So would you rather zip line or would you whitewater kayak to work? What would you do, Dave? What would you rather?
That's really hard.
It's fun though, isn't it? What a fun conundrum.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think if it was different weathers or that type of thing. Like, I think I would even like on glorious days like today, like we're in the middle of a heat wave and it's only going to get worse. I think, I don't know, you could have like the zip line would cool you with all that wind, but then obviously the whitewater rafting, all the water and stuff splashing over you and whatnot. I don't know. I think to get to work fresh, you'd want a zip line because kayaking and water rafting would be fun, but you definitely need to have like a shower.
Okay, you sound very practical. We've already got some audience comments, by the way. Tom says, try driving to Sheffield and back again in a day.
Yeah, that's long.
Okay,
Tom does put in the miles.
Yeah, I don't envy you, mate. I really don't. I took my after you. There you go.
That's why we do long podcasts, to give them something to listen to.
Yeah, I know, mate. So there you go. Go further to Sheffield because this is quite long tonight. Joe said it was zip line because he hates water. Amit said he was also zip wire. My wife said zip line because rafting's too exhausting. Oh, well, yeah, you'd probably just want to cruise down, wouldn't you, to be fair? So a lot of zip line fans. So if you're thinking practical though, Dave, you're thinking weather dependent and also what you're going to be like as in condition, like if you're going to be all wet. But if your work had like a shower room and stuff like that, would that still, if you had time to change and stuff, would you still?
Yeah, if it was a nice day, but I think Norma's point is, yeah, very relevant. Like, it's exhausting.
Which one would you get bored quickly of on that commute?
Zip lining.
You'd get bored of the zip lining quicker, yeah?
Well, yeah, because I think because obviously if you buy a car and you go, I'll buy a fast car, you get used to the speed, you get used to it, and then you want something faster, more powerful.
Okay. Yeah.
The zip line is always just going to be exactly the same speed, get you there. Where there's water is always different. If it's been raining, it's going to be faster.
Yeah.
If it's like, because then if it's been raining, then the water level might be higher, so there'll be different rocks. If it's not been raining, it's a drought, it'll be lower down. So I think, yeah, the water would definitely give you more to think about. So yeah, it probably is not normal saying exhausting. It's probably going to be mentally exhausting as well. If it's whitewater rafting, you're watching out all the time.
Did you say zip line both ways, or did you say zip line there, whitewater rafting back?
I think to spice it up, I could do one way and one the other, if that was allowable within the rules.
Yeah. Tom said water all the way and then zip line on the way home, but he's put a laughing emoji. So I don't know if does he mean water rafting there and then zip line on the way back?
Yeah, maybe to get home quick for dinner.
Yeah, have you been whitewater rafting, Dave?
I've done the Olympic.
Oh, you've done that.
Yeah.
You've done it. Oh, so you could talk. So you can sort of compare that kind of thing.
Oh, it was really good. It was really good. It's the ones with the big boats and you sit all round the side. Me and my brother did it, and yeah, it was really good. And I think all the boats capsized, and I don't think our boat did until like one of the very last runs. And then at the end, they pull you over, and then there's a bit where you can, they line you up and you can jump in, and then you go down. Or did they do that at the beginning? They might have done that in the beginning to test you were strong enough to swim. I think you had to jump in, and then you sail down the little bit, and then someone goes now, and you have to swim to them to make sure you're a strong enough swimmer to do the rest of it, just in case, because obviously the boat can capsize at any point. And I think we capsized once near the very end, but yeah, it's really good fun.
Oh, we didn't. Because I've also been whitewater rafting, but I did it in Costa Rica, and I can't remember them giving us that safety briefing, mate. I can't.
No,
all I remember is that like you have to put you had the guy at the back, and he was steering, and he said like paddles up, paddles down. To obviously, because if you have paddles down, you might lose your paddle if it's like rocks and stuff like that. And I remember very first they got there must be like 8 or 9 rafts, and the water, there was 2 ways of going through. One way was a tree had fallen and made it quite tight, and the other way was quite a safe way, and all the rafts were going this way, but then one got pushed this way and got tipped right at the start, and because it was right at the start, everyone got out onto the shore, and this girl was like crying her eyes out, and then she goes, I can't swim, and I was like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you doing whitewater rafting when you can't swim? But then we did something called ride the bull, a bit like what you're doing, but one of us had to sit at the front of the raft, hold on to the rope of like one arm in the air, but then the guy at the back would just hit us with the paddle and just shove us off like into the rapids and stuff. So that was quite fun. We've got a few more, mate. Pamela. Hello, Pamela. Pamela's my sister-in-law, also in New York. Zip for me, I can't swim. I think your whole family can't swim. I think my in-laws just don't swim. Tom also went to Lee Valley. Good day out. Yeah, I wish I had a go now, actually, to be fair.
Lee Valley, thank you, Tom, for the name. That is the Olympic setup where they did it.
Joe, also in New York, water rafting all day, don't go to work. The whole idea that white water rafting takes you to work, it's not going to meander somewhere else. It's a commuting option. It's not a leisure option.
Imagine getting that call, like, why didn't you come into it? Oh, I'm just sorry, the rafting all day.
Yeah, the rafter didn't stop. I couldn't stop the raft. It just went through. And you know how water runs. Water's downhill. I'm miles away now. So, yeah. But can you imagine, like, if a city had built it up with like zip lines going everywhere, and you get to like a station, and then you clip yourself on, like Spider-Man, just keep going zip lining everywhere.
They've got the zip line. You've got the zip line that goes down in Vegas, down the old town. And it's on this dome, and it's all got the lights and stuff. And so you're just walking along.
I've seen that.
And it's just going. So you've got these people that just go zooming right over your head. And you're like, what? If you don't know that it's there.
Did you do it?
No, I haven't done the zip lining down the old town. It's not. It'd be all right, but yeah, it's not. I think touristy thing. I was there for gambling. I was there to get some winnings. So
was you looking up to make sure any chips were falling?
Did you do Ardèche when we were at school?
Yeah, okay. Ardèche, South France. Yeah.
So that was whitewater rafting.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't. A little bit. It wasn't. It wasn't whitewater rafting, but it was. No,
like it was canoeing, and like they were going, "Oh, watch this bit. It's quite deep," and we get stuck on the pebbles, and you had to push yourself off. It was so tame. It was so tame. I remember that.
My memory of it was a bit different, but is a bit of a waffle that years after, and I'm thinking probably in the last 10 years, so obviously we've left school for a long time, I actually found a picture of me, and I was in the canoe, because we were in 2, weren't we? 2 people per canoe.
Yeah.
I was in a canoe with Jack Shalaker, and there's a picture, I'm going to have to look after this to see if it's still there, of me and Jack Shalaker on a canoe 20 years after we have been there. It's still on this Ardèche website of us going down this canoe.
Oh, wicked. Is it still there?
I don't think it's there, but it was about 10 years ago. So it was like 20 years ago we did it, and it was still on their website. I'm going to have to see if I can find it now, see if it's still there. Surely in this day and age they've had a new website by now. But
see, I remember afterwards, because there was a big group photo taken of the Ardèche. Everyone who went to Ardèche has a big group photo. And I think this is where it proves your popularity over mine at school, because I was actually cut out. Because in the yearbook, right, and all the Ardèche collage page, right, it's a sad story, people.
And I spot the group picture. I was like, oh, where am I? And I know who did it. Alice Dyke did it. All right. Okay. Greg Dyke's daughter, by the way, if anyone don't know, she had cut round the group photo and got to me and Gareth, and she cut us out because you could see a bend in the photo. So I'm nowhere on the collage page because it was just popular people. And there's pictures of you as well around. I've still got my yearbook. I'll try to find that. I'm cut out. I felt so offended. And also in that yearbook, we had this massive year photo. It's a bad yearbook. Massive year photo, right? And then it's 150 people now, I'm not too sure. And everyone's names were printed on the next page or exactly where they are, like a big team squad photo. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And there was 2 Bens in that year group. There's Ben Clark.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no Ben Ryan. There's Ben Clark, and then there's Ben Clark again. So I'm not named in the yearbook. It's like I was a ghost. It's like I wasn't there. Yeah, she cut me and Gareth out, Joe. Yeah, see.
Be careful what you say because they got to sue the podcast.
Oh, bring it along, man. I'll cut out. Tom said should do gorge walking over in Northern Ireland. I love to. I need better footwear for that, mate. To be fair. I was actually in the morning today. I actually followed a bit of gorge. Actually, where me and Tom actually walked up. Deep. There's a lot of lovely rock pools and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind doing it. I wouldn't mind doing Coast Steering, actually. So
yeah, I want to do Coast Steering. I was meant to do it on a stag I was invited to, but the weather was too bad, so we did Panda. If Panda knows about this one because he was on the stag as well, and instead of doing Coast Steering, we did paddleboarding. But it was literally just in a little square in a harbour. Yeah.
There you go. Right. Well, I think we've sort of found that everyone is more of a zip liner than a white wall after. So
yes.
But that's it. That's all the content. That's all the topics, Dave, isn't it?
That is the live stream final episode of the season done and dusted. And I think, this adds a whole new element to the podcast. It's been good. It's been very fun.
I've enjoyed it because we don't have to edit after this. It's just up. So done. What we've been doing for the last 9 episodes and like evenings of going, not now, medicine. So, but do you know what? If those who have joined us, if you prefer, so I'm assuming you could watch it back, can't you, on YouTube?
Yeah, it will. Once the live finish, I think it does whatever YouTube needs to do, and then the video will be there like they all are on YouTube. Obviously, this is the first one recorded.
Joe said, "Is there going to be a season 2?" Well, seeing as this is end of season 1 and the transfer window's open, we've got to talk to our agents, see what other contracts are out there, see what moves are being made.
We might get some big deals coming in. You never know.
I know. Or Elon Musk might turn his hand over. His Twitter deals come out of it. Waffle Cafe Pod could be the next bit.
That's exactly. He wants. Was it? He's the big one of truth and freedom of speech and not being. Was it censored? Yeah. So we can do that. We can do that here, Elon.
We're not censored on here. We're not.
No, exactly. We can do that here for you, Elon.
Just bring the billions.
Yeah.
Buy a T-shirt.
Well, no, actually, because what would you want from Elon? He was going to buy Twitter for 44. We could do for 1. He's saved himself 43 billion there. Job done.
Amit says, "Cheers to you both on complete the first season. Great first season. Thank you very much. It sounds like you're the most loyal fan we've had because you just keep contributing all the time." Wife said, "Good episode." She's still listening. Thank you very much. And she said, "Live is better, to be honest." All right. Okay. All right. My sister-in-law also says go live more often in the next season. I think we might do because I'm just enjoying the thought of being editing. Joe in New York also says when is season 2 up? I think we'll probably have a month off. Maybe end of August we'll come back really, or maybe do Insta Live. But the only thing Insta Live is that does it get saved then does the video then get saved? And it's hard to rip off Instagram as well.
I don't know with Insta Live if you need a certain amount of following to do lives. And
I think you do. Yeah, it's like 1,000 followers or something like that.
Yeah, and how long it needs to be and that type of stuff. So unless normally you can drum up some followers, then
Well, exactly. I mean, you're an influencer these days, Norma. Come on, Anyway, right. Well, that's like 2 hours in, so really, that's bang on the dot. Real, we don't want to hold anyone else. So thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the seasons. It's on Spotify. We'll add the songs on to Spotify playlist, and we'll send you the link so you can have a look through and have a little listen to what we've been listening to, and also your own suggestions. And if you do want to suggest any more, we'll look back through the chat, and we'll obviously go for that. So, but thank you very much for joining us. You're dismissed.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. All the best.